Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to a place for healthy conversations. One second, guys. All right, guys. Welcome to a place for healthy conversations. I am Ms. Empower, and I am excited to be here with you guys tonight. Looking forward to talking to you guys. We have a really great topic tonight. I was going to give a couple of minutes for a few more people to log on. So tonight's topic, and real quick, I just want to make sure. It's not gonna let me do that. Okay. So tonight's conversation, we're talking about curveballs, and we all experience that in our life because it's just a part of life. When you have a curveball, it's unexpected. It's very surprising when it happens, and um, it just kind of knocks us off course, and we kind of get off track a little bit, and it's really hard to refocus. So tonight I thought it would be a great night to talk about just the different things that you can do just to get refocused again, get back on track again. And what I need you guys to know that it is normal um, to receive a curveball in life because so many things are going to happen in our lives that we are not going to be expecting. And that's just life. It happens, and we take things differently when it comes down to that curveball. It could be something minor, that happened. Like maybe our child got sick, and so that made us change our plans. That's a curveball. That's considered a curveball. It could something could knock us off balance. You know, maybe you lost your job. And or maybe you were going for a house. Let's say you were trying to buy a house, and at the last minute they decided you couldn't get that house. That knocks you off balance because you were expecting to buy this house. You spent a lot of time. Everyone that has ever purchased a home knows that it's a process. You have to start out having some money in your savings, so you have to start off saving money. You go through the whole process of applying for the home loan, and sometimes they take you through a lot of changes, just to finally say, yes, we approve you for this amount. And then once you start looking for a house, that's a process. You're looking for a home, you're looking for the perfect home that, for you and your family or just for yourself. That's a process. And then you find that house, you find it, and you're in love with it, and you are invested in this whole process to get this home. And you still go through some more things to finish up everything to get to closing. And some people, right at closing, it doesn't go through. Something happens. So this is another, example of um a curveball, and it happens in our lives. Um, one second, guys. We also have that curveball that threatens to strike you out, and take you completely out emotionally. Maybe somebody passes away, that it was very unexpected. You never, like, you didn't know anything about them being ill. Maybe they didn't know they were ill, and then they just unexpectedly pass away. It could be a family member, it could be a friend, a coworker, somebody, and it's really hard to refocus. It kind of takes you out, like you were on this track, but now you're totally off that track. Um, and I'm just here to tell you it's okay. Whatever it is that you are feeling, whatever it is that you are going through because of that curveball, it's okay. It is for you to go through. It's a process you have to go through to get back on track. So let's talk about some of the examples. Um, for example, like I just talked about, losing a loved one to, it could be death, it could be incarceration, it could be to the world, however you lost that person. Um, learning that your loved one had an affair and a possible baby on you. That's a lot for somebody. Like, that's heartbreaking, that's heart wrenching, you know. Receiving divorce papers from a spouse unexpectedly, like you guys hadn't talked about separating, divorcing, or you know that there was something going on between you guys that was that drastic that you thought you would get some divorce papers, like that could knock somebody off track as well. Being involved in a car accident, we all know when a car accident happens, there a lot of times you don't see it coming, it just bam happens, but then there are some car accidents you see it coming, but there's nothing you can do about it. You have no control over it. Um, being fired, laid off, suspended from your job, that's a curveball. Learning a family member is ill, that's a curveball. Like, and depending on what type of illness it is it something that they could pass away from, are they given a certain amount of time? That's a lot for somebody to receive that type of information and still learn how to move forward. Um, a major appliance stops working in your house, like that's something that can be considered minor, and you have no idea how you're going to get it repaired or how you're going to replace it. You learn you are expecting a child that you weren't ready for, like you didn't plan for this, and maybe that's too much for you, and that might not be for everybody, but I'm just saying, I'm just giving you an examples of curveballs for some people. You learn your I'm sorry, you have a health scare, that's something unexpected, like you didn't know that you had cancer, you didn't know that you had a heart condition, you didn't know about whatever the health scare is, but it you get this information out of nowhere, and now you have to deal with it, and you have to learn how to keep moving forward even with this news. If you just logged on, I've been giving examples of different curveballs. We all go through curveballs. They're surprising, they're unexpected. And I'm just here to talk to you about how to refocus and get back on track after receiving a curveball in your life. We all experience them in our lives. Um, it's just a part of life. We don't have control over everything that's going to happen to us. We really don't. Um, but one thing is for sure, it's not what happens to you, it's how you react to it. Um, Early on in the video, I talked about maybe somebody was in the process of purchasing a house, and um, maybe really very like close to the closing date or on the closing date, they were told that they couldn't get the house. That's unexpected. That's a curveball because you invest so much into that whole entire process. And that happened to me some years ago. I was purchasing a house for my children and I, and they were pretty young. And it was the perfect house. It was what I never thought I would have, and it was in the perfect school district. My children wouldn't have to change schools, and I remember being so excited. And so, the day of closing, I got that phone call early that morning that they decided not to give me the loan. And I remember being so devastated. I cried. I went through so many different emotional things because I felt like I failed my children, because this was something finally, like we had been through so much, in their life and in my adult life, because I was young, um, that I was like, okay, this is going to be wonderful to be able to do this for them, And when that happened, it was a lot for me. And it took me a minute, to get back on track. But that's something I never forgot about. But I learned how to cope with that hurt. And it kind of kept me from wanting to be in the process of buying property, But I'm over it now and I'm ready um, to buy property and stuff now. But it took years for me to get over that. And it happens to so many of us. And I'm just here to tell you it's okay. So, what do you experience when that curveball comes? You experience grief, because you just and that's not in every curveball, but when you've lost something, you go through the whole process of grief, and we know that that's a lot within that process of grieving that people go through. You go through, people experience anger, you know, depending on what the situation is. People experience so many negative thoughts in their mind, like they can't even think in a positive manner because they are stuck right there and they're very stagnant in that negative state of mind. Um, Anxiety is something else that people go through. People give up. Like I was that person. I gave up on the house buying process because it really did something to me. There was doubt, so much doubt in your mind, um, about being able to get over whatever that curveball was. Like if you lost a job, you start doubting, am I good enough to get another job? Am I good enough to move forward and do better maybe than what I was doing? I don't think I could do better than what I just had. And that's not true. You just have to retrain your mind, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later in the video. um People, they have fear. That's another thing that they experience fear. um People worry. Like, are you a worrier? I used to be that. I used to be a big worrier about everything until I became a prayer. And when I started praying more, I stopped worrying as much as I did. So it's like when things happen, I don't worry about them. Not to say it doesn't affect me now. That would not be honest of me to say. I can say it affects me, but I can say it does not worry me. Like I will keep moving and I'll keep thinking, okay, what can I do while I'm moving forward about this? Is this something that I can control, or is this something I can't control? And we have to ask ourselves those questions. Because things that you can't control, you just can't worry about them. People experience uncontrollable crying, when they receive that curveball, depending on what it is for you. People, they experience sleepless nights, like they literally can't sleep because of all the pain, the worry, the doubt, the fear, the anger, just all of those feelings, that anxiety, that they have within them because of that curveball. So, what do you do? And that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to dive into that, and talk about what you can do. So, number one, understand that life curveballs are just a part of life. Like, we don't know when it's going to happen. We like I said before, it's unexpected, and just understand that it's a part of life and it's okay. Just have to take one day, one moment at a time. Um, Identify your curveball and call it out. You know, for me, if I give that example of the house, my curveball was, um, I didn't get the house, and now I am feeling inadequate, feeling like I'm not the best mother. Um, that I'm not worthy of having. Call out these things that you are feeling within that this curveball has caused for you. You have to call those things out. Don't allow yourself to deny what you are feeling, because I was feeling inadequate, and I'm not going to deny that. But what I have to do is I have to call it out. I have to see that that's what that is that I'm feeling. And then I have to figure out, okay, what am I going to do about that? Because I'm just not going to sit down and accept that. If you deny it, it will take you longer to cope with it and refocus. Next, don't allow negativity to take control of your thought process. We have to literally retrain our minds, because I will say, being in a negative headspace, I had to literally retrain the way that I thought to be positive, because of the hurt, the anger, um, just all the feelings that I had, the negative feelings that I had to literally retrain the way my mind was thinking. And we're going to get more into different things you can do for that. Also, pray about it. Pray about it. Prayer changes a lot of things for us. It changes the way we're thinking. It gives us a little relief. You know, don't shut others out who want to be supportive, because sometimes we just want to be to ourselves and we just want to cry about it. We want to pout about it. We want to be upset about it. But when you have that person there that's there to support you and encourage you, they're going to pour into you. And a lot of times that's what we need, instead of laying down for as long as we do. Now, when we start talking about um, death, that's so different, guys. That's different. That's a whole different process. That's a whole different video, but it still is a curveball. There's no time limit on how long it takes you to grieve a loved one. It really is not. My mom has been gone going on 5 years in June, and I still grieve over her. Like, I don't cry as much as I used to. I don't have my moments where I just need to be alone because I'm dealing with that as much as I used to. But I still have my moments. I could be having a good day and I might hear a song. Somebody might say something that reminded me of her, and then it could take me, that could trigger me, and I could be taken to a whole nother headspace of grief. So those of you that are experiencing grief and that have been experiencing it for years over a loved one, you can probably relate to that as well. Listen to positive words or songs while you're sleeping. So if whatever this curveball is, it has you where you can't sleep, you can't relax, you're just on edge, put your headphones in. Listen to you can go on YouTube, you can pull up, um type in something, sleeping with scriptures or something like that, and just let that play in your ear. Or you can use some gospel music or just some positive music, and listen to those things while you're sleeping. And I promise you, when you wake up, you're going to feel so much lighter. Um, because there's been so many curveballs in my life that I learned that when I do that, it helps me to relax. Does it mean that I'm not going to go through something? You're still going to go through something, but it's going to help you in that process. It's going to aid you in the process. Um, Take time to think about what that curveball is. Sometimes you have to think about it. Sometimes we tend to want to throw something to the side, and not think about it. But then at some point, you're going to have to think about it. Um, Keep an open mind. Something may have happened. You may have received a curveball, but at the same time, we just never know what may happen after that. Keep an open mind, and depending on what that curveball is, um, meditate. I hear and see a lot of people doing yoga. Like, yoga is not something that I am able to do because I experience vertigo. And I took a yoga class in school probably, oh, I don't want to think about how long ago that was, maybe about 7 years ago. And it really affected me in that way. So I can sit up and meditate, but yoga, I'm unable to do the different poses or whatever it is that you have, or positions that you have to be in. Make sure you have some quiet time. It's really great to just have a moment in a space where you could just be quiet and listen to what God is trying to download in your mind. um, if there is something you can do to change what happened, plan your next move to change it. Believe in your mind that you can change it if it is something that can be changed. Um, Build new routines to get on track and refocus. So when you're going through something, and I'm going to just speak on myself because sometimes I do plan to be a little transparent. Um, but when you're going through something, you do have to redo everything, get a whole different routine. So you want to make sure that you are making time to journal about things um, that are on your mind. And a lot of times, I try to tell people that it's a good thing to journal right before you go to bed, because that means you're releasing your thoughts at that moment. So you want to journal, you want to make time for exercise. Like we talked about yoga, um we talked about yoga and meditation and all of those different types of things. So you want to make sure that you're building, routines. Make sure you're adding just some different positive things to your day. Listen to some things that are positive while you're working. You want to feed your mind, but then you have to have a balance. Like for me, I need a balance. Like I need something I can laugh at. I need something positive. I just need different varieties to listen to throughout the day. So you have to figure out what that is for you. I'm sorry, guys. My board is acting crazy for me tonight. Um, so you want to build new routines for you. You have to figure out what that is for you. Um, Surround yourself with positive like visuals. So one thing about me on my computer, I will have just positive affirmations, positive like scriptures, just positive words, pictures that are positive, just whatever it is for you. And even if like you did a vision board, have that somewhere that's close where you can look at that. You can look at, maybe you can write on there your accomplishments, whatever it is that you're wanting to get into, and you have to figure out what that is for you. So these are different things that you can do when you have been hit with a curveball in life, and we call it a life curveball. Um, And for those of you that are going through something right now, I am praying right now that there was something in this video that you were able to get that you'll be able to apply to your life, and that will really help you in your process of refocusing again. So make sure that you think about retraining your mind. Think in a more positive way. Even though you're going through something, try to focus more on the positive things of life if you can do that. And it takes a little time because like I said, you're retraining your mind. So it kind of takes a little minute, but once you get into it, I promise you it is fabulous, guys. I'm going to tell you because I experienced a really big curveball years ago. It's been 20 years ago. And I never thought I would survive it. You know, I actually felt like I was smothering. I felt like I was slowly dying on the inside. You know, I just really truly could not see my life being better. You know, I didn't even picture myself being the age that I am now. I just celebrated a birthday, and I never pictured myself being this age because of what I was going through in that time in my life. And so I know there are a lot of people out there that are going through something, you know, right now. But I'm just here to tell you though, once you start retraining your mind to be more positive and you start moving forward and start thinking about things that bring you the most joy in your life, even when you're going through something, I promise you, you're going to start moving forward and you're not going to even believe, you know, how much better you're going to feel. You're going to look back and say, wow, you know, I have really come so far in my life. I remember when, you know, and for me, it took me a really long time to get here, you know, where I am now, but it took a lot of work and it takes that and it's so worth it, you know. But just think about retraining your thought process to be positive, even in those negative moments, even in those moments where you receive that curveball in your life. So I have enjoyed talking with you guys tonight. I look forward to the next video. If you have not already, go ahead and subscribe, hit that bell, and hit the like button. And the next time that I do a video, you'll get that notification, and I'm looking forward to doing more videos with you guys. If there is a topic that you would really like for me to talk about, please put that in the comments. Um, my YouTube channel is fairly new, and there will be a lot of new things coming to this channel. This is about being healthy. That's why I call it a place for healthy conversations. There will be a lot of different topics that sometimes people don't feel the most comfortable talking about, but we will talk about them. um, I am looking forward to doing more. There is also a segment called Dear Ms. Empower. And so anybody that wants to send in a letter that is a relationship dilemma, a family dilemma, you can send that to msempower@gmail.com. And that is MZZ as in zebra, empower@gmail.com. And I will have that segment coming up. I can't say for sure, but I believe next week may be the first week that we do Ms. Empower. But look for the flyers because the flyer will be posted. Um, so again, I look forward to talking to you. And for those of you that have not caught the Let's Talk About It Tuesday discussion, that's a live discussion that I do every Tuesday. We have a topic that I put out there. We talk about it. You know, we have people in the chat that also dive in the discussion. There will be some panels coming up, and you'll have the opportunity to jump on that panel and have something to say. For those of you who are women, who are black, who have experienced um, just some different things in the workplace other than um, other women of other nationalities, you'll have that opportunity to come on and speak on the panel for that. And again, I look forward to talking to you guys soon. So you guys have a great night. And thank you for taking the time to log on with me tonight. I know you could have been anywhere else doing anything else, but you took the time to log on. And even if it was for a few minutes, if you missed the whole video, go back and look at it from the beginning. I hope that you were able to get something. Thank you. Have a good night.